When a team has to rebound from almost a quarter century of mediocrity, it takes a lot. The 1983 Chicago White Sox, such a balanced team of veterans, of farm players that made it there, good trades, basically good offense, good defense. And what we're going to be doing today, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be talking about a little bit how the White Sox got into that playoff that year, to basically draw back some memories to the '59 World Series and the White Sox. Now, the '84 Chicago White Sox season involved the Chi Sox winning the American League West Championship on September 17th by a full 20 games. It marked the first postseason appearance since the '59 World Series. It was the city of Chicago's first baseball championship of any kind, Division League World, since again the White Sox lost the World Series 24 years before. Now, after the White Sox went through a winning streak around the All-Star break, Texas Rangers manager Doug Rader, not knowing for his cerebral prowess, said the White Sox weren't playing well, they were winning ugly. Well, win or lose, if you win, ugly or not, it's there. This phrase became a rallying cry for the team, and they are often referred to as the winning ugly squad, and uniformed as the winning ugly uniforms, because the uniforms were not say fully ugly, but they were somewhat ugly. A very weird pattern with the big SOX on the front, and back in the day, for people who didn't like the White Sox, you just added a U. You can figure it out. Now, the big thing for Chicago in the offseason, they released Sparky Lyle, signed Casey Parsons, and drafted Damon Berryhill. But they picked up a cross-city trade. They sent Steve Trout and Warren Brewster to the Cubs for Scott Fletcher, Pat Tadler, Randy Martz, and Lyle's former Yankees teammate, excuse me, Dick Tidrow. Now, the regular season was great, a good balanced attack. Ron Kittle won the American League Rookie of the Year and set a club record for most home runs by a rookie. He missed the American League home run title by 3 home runs and finished 3rd overall. He would rank 9th in the American League for runs batted in, and he also managed to lead the league in strikeouts with 150. Now, on the pitching side, the great Lamar Hoyt won the American League Cy Young Award, while fellow pitcher Floyd Bannister finished 2nd in the AL in strikeouts. He also won 13 to 14 games after the All-Star break. Now, the White Sox were led by the great bench boss Tony La Russa, and he really motivated these players, especially veterans like Fisk and Luzinski, to really take the mantle. Now, the opening day lineup was quite interesting because it was a mix of young players and up-and-coming stars and veterans. Rudy Law, Tony Bernazard, Harold Baines, Greg Luzinski, Greg Walker, Tom Paciorek, Carlton Fisk, the second Law, Vance Law, and Scott Fletcher, with, of course, Lamar as the pitcher. Now, what really played out for the White Sox, they were terrific at home. They had a 55-26 record that year, 44-37 on the road to be the best in the division. Final record in the AL West, 99-63, a full 20 games ahead of Kansas City Royals. Now, what was interesting too as well, ladies and gentlemen, that the All-Star game was also held in Chicago that year. So I guess the fairy dust that came from the All-Star game really applied to them. Now, the idea about the White Sox, they had a very interesting lineup. On the pitching side again, Floyd Bannister, Britt Burns, Richard Dotson, Kevin Hickey, very underrated, Lamar Hoyt, the veteran Jim Kern, Jerry Koosman, Dennis Lamp, and Dick Tidrow. Catchers, again, they had Fisk, Hill, and Skinner. Infielders, some really, really great talent. Bernazard, Julio Cruz, Scott Fletcher, Vance Law, again, Tom Paciorek, Aurelio Rodriguez, the veteran, Mike Squires, and Greg Walker. In the outfield, Harold Baines, Miguel De Leon, Jerry Harrison, Ronnie Kittle, Rusty Kuntz, Rudy Law, Casey Parsons, and Dave Stegman. And again, Greg as the big DH, Greg Luzinski. Now, again, in the regular season, they started off really, really slow. They were only 8-10 in April. However, they really, really did quite well from then on. There were 12-15 in May, 18-10 in June, 15-13 in July, and from August to October. Do you get this? 46-15, one of the best records ever in the Chicago history. And in September, he won almost all their games at home with a strong 14-1 record. Now, the advanced to face the Orioles in the ALCS. This was a best of 5. Lamar Hoyt led the way in a 2-1 opening game win against Scott McGregor in Baltimore. He lost game 2 4-0, and then everything fell apart. He lost 11-1 on the backs of Dotson's rough pitching performance at Comiskey on October 7th. And on the 10 innings, the Baltimore scored 3 runs at the top of that inning, beating Burns, and again, losing 3 straight. Now, Baines had a really good season, 20 homers and 99 RBIs. Carlton had 26 homers, 86 ribbies. Ronnie Kittle had 35 homers, 100 RBIs. Luzinski in a DH role, 32 homers and 95 RBIs. Greg Walker had 10 homers and 55 ribbies. And in a very, very balanced attack as well. Rooney Law had 34 RBIs, hit 283, but defensively one of the best center fielders that year. And Vance Law had 4 homers and 42 RBIs while batting 243. Team average that year was 262, and what really helped them, ladies and gentlemen, again, the home run ball. He had 157 home runs that year. Now, Bannister that year went 16-10. Burns went 10-11. Richard Dotson went 22-7. Lamar Hoyt went 24-10. And Jerry Koosman went 11-7 on the veteran presence. Now, their big stopper was Dennis Lampy at 15 saves. Solon Boras had 12. Juan Augusto had 7. And Dick Tidrow, again, the veteran pitcher, had 7. Now, what really stands out for me, ladies and gentlemen, is that their offense really fell apart in the last 3 games against Baltimore. It's kind of unfortunate because the offense really did well for them in the regular season, but sometimes in the playoffs, a team like Baltimore, and they were destined to win the World Series that year. So the only team that really stopped Chicago White Sox from winning the tournament that year, again, was Baltimore. Now again, Hoyt was a Cy Young Award winner. Kittle was AL Rookie of the Year. La Russa won AL Manager of the Year and was the Associated Press AL Manager of the Year, with Roland Heyman as Executive of the Year, and of course Ron Kittle again selected to the All-Star team as a reserve. So, ladies and gentlemen, a winning ugly year, a glorious year for Chicago baseball. I remember watching the playoffs against Chicago after the opening game, and the French announcer for the CBC said, no offense here, but I think the bubble's going to burst if Baltimore finally gets a few more hits. That's it for Chicago. Because in a battle of 2 very strong pitching teams like Chicago and Baltimore, what really stand out, where your starters can go 7.5 good innings, the other team can only go 6. Because what was happening, Baltimore was a what do you call it, Earl Weaver style team, 3-run homers or hit and run, and I think not say they were out-coached, but it just seemed Chicago didn't have enough experience on the bench besides Luzinski and Fest to deal with tough situations in the playoffs. It's too bad Chicago wouldn't have picked up, like, let's say, a former Dodger, more former Dodgers, like a Ron Zay or David Lopes. But they're already playing with Chicago, which, a lot of the main reason people don't talk about Chicago made it to the playoffs on the backs of Ron Zay and the other veterans that showed up with the team around the same time. So, but what a White Sox year, and there's nothing matter with winning ugly, because you got to win. Ugly or sweet or whatever. And Chicago, again, winning 100 games in a regular season of playoffs, that doesn't happen every day. To reach that magic 100, you got to have talent. And let me tell you something. Defense, offense, pitching, strong bench. It was a happy year in Chicago. And as we like to say in northern New Brunswick, sweet home, Chicago. Thanks for listening. If you like what we're doing here, give us a like, comment, subscribe. And don't forget, requests are always appreciated and always tolerated. Have a good one. Bye.